Alok, a very different landscape, Meghalaya, as it were. We've had comments from the Meghalaya BJP chief also, who've spoken about how they will not interfere with the food practices, as it were, about how consumption of beef is not really an issue. So that really gives us the landscape of where Prime Minister is holding his roadshow today. How do you see the response he's getting, and what do you make out of this?
Well, you see, it's a little difficult to gauge the kind of response on a day like this when you go. Obviously, the party would have made a lot of effort to get in people to support the Prime Minister. I think the real test, as you and I know very well and our viewers also know, is when the election results come out. But it's an interesting battle in Meghalaya. See, the BJP is not very strong in Meghalaya on its own, and the last time around, the alliance was with Conrad Sangma, the Chief Minister's party, and that is how the BJP says that they are also in power in Meghalaya. Of course, they had a few MLAs, but it is Conrad Sangma and his party that had the leadership role, so to say, in the state. Now, of course, you have a situation where Conrad Sangma's party and the BJP are fighting their own battles in the state. The remarks by the BJP president in Meghalaya are very significant. You did allude to that. As we look at these visuals of the Prime Minister passing through those streets of Shillong, I mean, my one memory of Shillong is the fact that you get into that city and sometimes you are caught up in these jams, so at least the Prime Minister that way has it easy. But politically, does the BJP has it easy? I think that is a big question. Again, just to say that the BJP president in Meghalaya and his remarks on basically essentially on beef eating, with him saying that, look, nobody has an issue here, it's the culture in Meghalaya and that the BJP won't interfere, again is something that is aimed at the electorate, because you see Meghalaya also does have a significant population whose food habits involve the consumption of beef. As we know, it's banned in some other states, but there in Meghalaya, again, this is something that is an emotive issue, and this is something that the BJP is the opposition to the BJP or the opponents of the BJP keep on saying that, look, this is a situation where the BJP is being hypocritical and that the BJP essentially wants to, curb food habits of people, etc. And that is why you have the BJP proactively trying to say that, look, we are not against anyone in Meghalaya, you eat beef, nobody has a problem. Again, just to go back to the politics of it, as we continue to watch some of these visuals of the Prime Minister.
Alok, in fact, just coming to what you're mentioning about, if you look at what happened in Tripura, much of Congress's top leaders were completely absent. They were not there. The high-profile Congress leaders did not really campaign in Tripura. But if you look at Meghalaya, you had Rahul Gandhi campaign in Meghalaya. There was a face-off between Mamata Banerjee and Rahul Gandhi as well. And you have even Prime Minister who's campaigned in Meghalaya. He also actively campaigned in Tripura as well. So what do we make out of this?
Well, I think there are 2 or 3 interesting political situations if you look at the Meghalaya election. See, again, the Congress may be on a weak wicket, so to say. And that is also because some of the top leadership of the Congress in the last some time, starting from Mukul Sangma, who used to be Chief Minister at one time, has shifted to the Trinamool Congress. So in terms of leadership or in terms of people who are very high-profile leaders, perhaps the Congress is on a weak wicket. The BJP, just to speak about that, because it's the Prime Minister who's holding this roadshow and will also address a rally right now. See, last time they had just 2 MLAs. They won 2 after contesting 47, if I remember correctly, in 2018. And this time they have put up candidates in all 60. Like I said, the last time around, their alliance was with Conrad Sangma's party. This time around, they're saying we'll go it alone. And Conrad Sangma and his party are going it alone. So again, the BJP has this issue as to what they can do in this election in a state like Meghalaya. Now, the local BJP leadership has been saying that they're going to win in double digits. Now, double digits could mean 10, it could mean 40. What realistically they get is something that one waits to see after the voting and, of course, after the counting takes place on the 2nd of March. But the Prime Minister being there is very significant because it does clearly signify the intent from the BJP that, look, even if we are fighting it alone, we'll get our top guns in there like they always do for all elections, and that we will try and push as much as we can in a state like Meghalaya and see what we come up with. And then, of course, in a state like Meghalaya, you always have that entire issue, Sneha, of post-poll alliances, so one waits to see what happens.